Hello and welcome to AIMS Media News Highlight. This is the midweek news. I am Ibrahim Olaguju. Nigerians on social media on Wednesday dragged the federal government and the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission after CNN released its findings from an independent investigation carried out on the October 20th shooting incident at the Lekki toll gate. Footage released by CNN showed that soldiers indeed shot at the EndSARS protesters who had gathered at the toll gate to press home their demands to end SARS as well as police brutality. CNN also tracked the bullet shells seen at the scene of the massacre, which showed that they were purchased by the federal government from Serbia in 2005. The Global Cable Network in its investigation spoke with a man named Elisha Sunday, whose brother Victor was killed during the October 20th shooting incident, amid federal government claims that there were no casualties. Following this development, Nigerians took to social media to drag the Buhari-led government over their inability to fully sanction the culprits behind this massacre. While some applauded the international media house for carrying out a detailed investigation of the incident and making revelations, others mocked the federal government and the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, saying they have no powers to sanction CNN over its detailed investigation. In recent development, Obianuju Catherine Uday, popularly known as DJ Switch, has described President Muhammadu Buhari's government as a dictatorship with a democratic face. DJ Switch was responsible for the Instagram Live that beamed the shooting by the Nigerian army at the Lekki toll gate on October 20, 2020. In an interview with Becky Anderson on CNN on Wednesday, she said, "Nigeria is a dictatorship with a democratic face, and I think it is primarily to please the international community. It is our right to protest for the change that we demand." She also said, and I quote, "This government has used force from the beginning. They started with infiltrating a peaceful protest with thugs, but did not work. Then they moved on to bring the military." The USP also asked the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to speak the truth about what happened at the Lekki toll gate. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has maintained that Nigerian Army was professional in its conduct in response to a report by CNN on the shooting of the EndSARS protesters at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos State. Buratai said the Nigerian Army will never operate outside of the rule of engagement. The Supreme Court on Wednesday affirmed Duye Duru as the duly elected governor of Bayelsa State. The seven-man panel in an unanimous judgment read by Justice Sylvester Ngota dismissed the 6 appeals filed against Duru and his deputy, Lawrence Uwijakpo. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, said it has shifted ground from its initial demands in the interest of Nigerian students who have spent over 7 months at home. ASU says it has done its initial insistence that the government should release one tranche of 220 billion revitalization fund and is now demanding for 50% of the one tranche, that is 110 billion naira. Activist Kenechiko KK has threatened to drag CNN staff to court over its independent investigation on the October 20th shooting incident at the Lekki toll gate. Okeke said the investigation by CNN is an affront on Nigeria's sovereignty and must. National Assembly members from Ebonyi State elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, said they would not defect from the party like Governor Dave Umahi. The federal lawmakers from Ebonyi State stated that no members of the caucus is decamping, asserting that the 3 senators and 5 House of Representative members remain in the PDP. In recent development, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the defection of Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi to the All Progressive Congress, APC. The Nigeria leader described it as a bold move, driven purely by principle rather than opportunistic motives. A magistrate court in Yaba, Lagos State, on Tuesday granted bail to one of the EndSARS protesters, Peter Eremosele Adene. The court rejected the request by the police for an order to detain Eremosele for another 30 days to enable them conclude investigations into the allegations against the defendant. He was granted the bail at the sum of 1 million naira. Nigerian police officer on Tuesday besieged the Africa Shrine in Ikeja, Lagos to prevent a meeting at EndSARS. The heavy armed men took position at surrounding areas and positioned their vehicles in front of the entrance, stopping everyone from entering. The Oni of Ife Adeyeye Ogunwusi on Wednesday welcomed a new prince into the family, the Oduduwa Palace, and to the world. Oni on his official Twitter handle congratulated the entire house of Oduduwa and Olori Shilekunla, who bettered the prince to the royal throne of Oduduwa. The West African Examination Council (WAEC) has again extended registration for its 2020 West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination for private candidates. And according to the Council, the new deadline is November 19, 2020. And this brings us to the end of the midweek news. Join me next week as I bring to you fresh happenings in the country. Till we meet next week, stay safe and do have a restful weekend.